Hi everyone. So I wanted to take a minute and record a video showing how you can create activities that are interactive and post them to your Google Classroom. As you can see here is a Google Classroom I have set up and I have been playing with. It is a test class, aptly named COVID-19 test class. So I'm going to show you this I Like Q poem. I have already made it, but I'm going to show you what I did. Just for the sake of time, I have here a template. What I did here was I took a poem that you would put up in your classroom and read with your class and then have them talk about the letter Q. I put in the letter card, so they have that queen that goes along with the poem. I made sure that the letters are kind of big enough that they can sorry, there's been a lot. It's been a busy day. So make sure that the letters are big enough that they can take something and drag it and highlight it. But what I need to do is use this activity, this file, as a template, because in Google Slides, the kids are going to be using it in edit mode because they do need to move things around. But you don't want things to move around that should not move around. So because of that, every time you make an activity, there's going to be two parts to it. So up here, if you have not used slides before, is where you name your document. I always, as in this week when I just started making Google Slides, anything that's going to be an activity, but it is the template or what is going to become the background of the actual interactive slide, I call it template, and then whatever the activity will be. So here is my template, I Like Q. What I'm going to do now is go to File and New Presentation. This is what Google Slides looks like when you open it up. I'm going to delete these. I'm also going to close out this Themes slide menu. It likes to pop up a lot. I like to get rid of it. I'm not changing the theme of these slides. So now, I did this in the first slide in my template, so I'm going to do it here. This is a completely optional step. All of the, I shouldn't say all of the videos, one of the videos that I watched on YouTube to try to learn how to create these kind of slides, one of those authors, she changes her page setup to a custom setup to be 8.5 by, or 11 by 8.5. Just so that if she ever wants to print these and use them, she can. That is completely optional. You don't need to do it. It is just an extra step. But I kind of thought it was neat to have that option down the line. So I've done that. I am now ready to use my template. And I am remembering I forgot to show you what you're going to do with it. I've already done it, but I'm going to do it again. So because you want this to be a background so that the kids can't move it, you need to download it as a picture. So you go to download as a JPEG. And down here is where your download is. You can double click on it, do the ellipses, and hit Save As. I've already saved it, so I'm not going to save it again. But just so if you do miss it down there in your bar at the bottom, it saves it to your downloads on your computer. So you would just open up the downloads folder if you really need to find it there, scroll on down, and it'll be in alphabetical order. In this case, it would be under T's for template. So over here to the untitled presentation, I'm going to I'm going to go over here. I can either right click on the slide and hit change background. I can right click on the main slide and hit change background, or up here at the top, there is the background button. All of those take you here. You can choose your image. I'm going to upload it because when it downloads, it is on your computer, so you need to save it somewhere. And I have a folder in my OneDrive that I'm saving all of these things to. So here's my template. I Like Q, and done. There it is. This is a super simple one. All the kids are going to do is find the cues after they've read the poem with their parents. So here their parents will read the poem to them. They'll talk about the letter. They'll talk about what starts with Q, and they will highlight by dragging rectangles. I wanted to let you guys know, I've played around with this. You cannot just insert a shape because you cannot then go in to the format options. The correct format to change it so that it's transparent, because we don't want to cover up the cues, we want the kids to see the cues. So what we have to do here, in case you ever want them to click and drag something that is then transparent, you need to insert a picture. And here, because I want it to be a triangle, when I tried to insert a picture, you can insert an image and search the web. I was not able to quickly find a rectangle that I liked that worked for what this needs to be, because they all had backgrounds or were just not what we needed. So I went over into Word, I stuck in a shape here, and if you don't know what it is, you can come down here and type in snip. There's a snipping tool. You can do a new snip, highlight it, and then you can actually copy, just control copy, or if you want to save it as a picture, like if you don't want to have to do this over and over again, you can just save it. I've already done it here. I have it saved as yellow rectangle, but you can also just hit Control C to copy, go back over to your slide and hit Control V to paste. You do need to use the shortcuts. There it goes. You do need to use the shortcuts in here and not actually right-clicking and hitting paste, because this pops up. Apparently you can install something that will let you do it, but I use the shortcuts most of the time anyway, so I didn't do it. So here you've got your shape, and if you click on it here, because I had it open already, there's the format options, but in case you didn't have it open, once you click that, there is up here format options, or you can right-click it and hit format options there. Under adjustments is where the transparency is. And we want it to be, I've kind of hit sweet spot at like 50%. So I want it to be transparent so that when they're clicking it, you can see if I come down here and I get this cue, they can still see that it's a cue. So I'm obviously going to need more than one because there are many cues here. There are about 17. They may or may not actually highlight all of them in this poem, but I want them to have the ability to if they need to. So I'm going to hit Control Copy and paste and just do it 17 times. So, and there it is. So I've got 17 of them. As you can see, it's a little bit hard to see to move them because personally, I want them all piled on top of each other so that it's visually clean and they just tap and grab and it takes one off of the top and puts it over. So you can go to View and you can zoom and you can do 100%. That works for me here. I just have to kind of scroll over, use the bars, and it's here. So I'm going to take these. I apologize. I'll try to do it as fast as I can because I know you don't really want to watch me do this. Or actually, and I do want to save, and that happens all the time. This little undo button up here is my friend. But I'm just grabbing them, putting them up here. So for the sake of time, if you pretend that I have done all of them, and once again, you don't have to be perfect. I know it's never gonna be perfect, but I'm just trying to make it a little pretty. For the sake of time, I'll now show you that if you come up here, you can make it now a titled presentation. In my last one, I think I said this, I named it template just because these are never the ones that are going to get uploaded to your classroom as the ones that kids use. They're the ones that are the background for the actual activity. So now I'm actually going to save it as I like cue poem. I have my original one, so I'm just going to make sure I save this as 2 so that it doesn't mess up my original one, and it's there. So now I've got this. If I want to, down here in the speaker notes, the kids and the families do see this. So if you wanted to, this is a great place to put in the directions, or you could also just put it in a text box and have it at the top of the slide so that they know what they're doing. So for here, I'm actually going to come over to my file and I'm going to open the one I already had. Not the one I already had. That was an old template. There it is. And just, this was supposed to be quicker. You can see I have some directions down here. So in this one, this is where this is our finished product. So here I have directions. I can click or tap if they're on a tablet and drag a yellow rectangle onto each cue in the poem. So you come over to your Google Classroom. Sorry about that, guys. It's been a long day. You come over to your Google Classroom, and I've already posted it, but if I hadn't, or if I wanted to post it again, I'm going to walk you through the steps. I'm in classwork. I'm in my classwork, and I want to do a new assignment. So up at the top, create. And it's just an assignment. So I like Q, and again, like I said, because I did it, I'm gonna just do a 2. I'm gonna go to Google Drive. There's the I Like Q poem. It's the one I most recently used, so it's there, but I do also have, and I kind of, I recommend, now that I've got a lot of files, creating a folder and just having it be like my Google Drive, Google Drive activities. But there's my I Like Q poem. I'm adding it there. If you want to, you can do the instructions there, but there are also on the slide. So it's personal preference, but you can say click and drag the rectangles to highlight letter Q. And if you haven't learned yet, down here, you want to make a copy for every student. That will make it so that each student gets their own slide and they highlight. If you only have one, the whole class will be highlighting. And so maybe one kid goes in and does it, and then another kid comes in, but there's nothing to do because they're all already highlighted. So you want to make a copy for each student. This is just personal preference, however many points you wanted to be out of. I know for pre-K, a lot of times I've done just 3. That kind of tells me, you didn't do it, you did it, you got a 3, you're proficient. Topic. If you haven't created topics, you can hit create topic here. I have literacy and math already. This is a literacy activity, so I'll put it there. And up in the top corner, this blue button, you hit assign, and it assigns it to the kids. What I have learned also is that every one of your Google Slides, when you upload them into your classwork, they do kind of are still synced to your original file. So like if you go into your I Like Q and you start dragging around all of these to play with it, which I have done because I have a son who's in kindergarten and I've had him kind of test out some things with me, especially on like a tablet that we have, just to see how it looks. Then these will then change in the one you've uploaded. So if you want to kind of play with it, either move them all back to where they were so that it's reset, or come up and do file, make a copy. And then you'll have a copy of it that you can kind of play with. And then if you're done playing with it, you can go ahead and like delete that file so you don't have all these extraneous files. But I just wanted to let you know that I found that out. So you do want to make sure that your files stay in the like set ready to complete way. So I'm going to close that out. The only other thing that I thought I would show you is in classwork. So there's one other activity just to give you some ideas of other things you can do other than just highlighting. Here's an activity for math where they're looking at tallest, they're looking at height. So the activity says, look at the toys, which one is the tallest? Line up the toys from tallest to shortest, starting at the smiling face. So it gives them that point to start at. And the kids can then move these 6 toy pictures down here. Everything else is non-movable. It was created as a background. And so they can kind of look and see. Also, made sure that they all start right there at the bottom of the slide so that they can look and see easier which one is the tallest. So they're able to drag, you know, the colored pencil is the tallest and move it around. The doll is the next tallest. You know, the bear and the football look really close so they can kind of move them around, or if they get the football up there first and then the bear and notice, oh, the bear is actually taller, they can switch them around and do that. So those are some other ways that you can create activities. That's just one for math. I feel like that gave you everything that I wanted to let you know this time. So you can also just see quickly, write letter U. That's a different kind of topic. I can make a video for that too, but that was actually just uploading a doc with that Kami extension. And Kami lets the kids do a pen tool to actually write. It works really well on a touchscreen device. You have to use a mouse on like a traditional laptop or computer. But these are some of the things that